I've been using the clicks on my RAZR Plus 2024 for a week now, and it took a bit of getting used to, but it did improve my experience with this phone. Installation was simple, just slide it in like in the picture. I was wrong in my first impressions video to slide it in at an angle. The top piece just snaps on too. Both pieces grip on the phone firmly, but it will slide off. I've had the lower piece slide off slightly, and I didn't notice except the keyboard stopped responding. As expected, this makes the phone really long, as the RAZR itself is already a longer phone than typical. You may draw some funny glances if you're using this in public. You can start typing with it right away, even before installing the Clicks app. The Shift and 1, 2, 3 symbol number keys work as it should, locking its function with a double press if needed. Pressing it again releases the lock. Typing feel is excellent. I initially thought that these were going to be flat round keys and expected a similar experience to the flat square keys of the minimal phone, which was good but lacking the tactile fingertip feel of the true Blackberries and their contour keys. But the feel was definitely better, and on closer inspection I saw that the keys were angled upwards towards the center of the phone, not flat. This gave a much better fingertip feel and typing experience. I like the feel better than the real BlackBerry Key 1 or Key 2. Although the Passport and the Unihertz Titan's wider and bigger keypads were more comfortable to type with, still it's a great experience for this width. Installing the app does add a bit of functionality like setting up the keyboard backlighting and its timing out values. Other settings include enabling or disabling the Shift and 1, 2, 3 symbol numbers keys locking features as I mentioned earlier. You can also set up using the 1, 2, 3 plus meta key to enter the cursor mode, where you can use WASD or IJKL to move your cursor around. There are alternate settings you can assign to the other keys, such as the Clicks logo key, which they call the Tab key for some reason, the Alt key, and the Gemini key. The Alt key is used to bring up various virtual keyboards on screen, or you can set it up to do alternates like Alt K to bring up the virtual keyboard, Alt period to bring up the floating emojis keyboard, or Alt S for a floating symbols keyboard. This Gemini key can be set up to bring up the Gemini voice assist, or you can set it up to be a dedicated dash key so you don't have to hit the 1, 2, 3 symbols plus I for the dash. The Clicks logo key, they call it the Tabs key as I mentioned. It simply cycles through each item on the screen. It's like pressing Tab on your PC. It also switches to a different field if you have different fields on your app. If you set it as a Control plus space, it's for changing the language of the input. Well, that's what it says on the description, but when I try to activate the language changing with the Control spacebar, nothing happened. It's interesting there's no key to trigger the Google voice typing though. I guess you could bring up the virtual keyboard, which is just Gboard, then hit the voice typing button there. But it seems it's a wasted opportunity not to use one of these keys to trigger the voice typing. There are no settings for this Control or Meta search keys though. But if you go to their online blog, there is a list of features to use these keys for. Link is in the description. And this brings me to the keyboard shortcuts that were printed on the box. I was expecting customizable home screen keyboard shortcuts to launch apps or do certain tasks like in the original Blackberries and Blackberry Androids. But what we get are preset keyboard shortcuts for launching predetermined apps. While this could work if you use these apps that they've chosen, why not let us customize what it does? And it takes 2 buttons to launch the apps or do the tasks. Usually the Meta key plus another key such as Meta and Y for YouTube and Meta and S for messages, which isn't that intuitive. That's because they set up Meta plus M for use with maps. I would like to choose my own set of shortcuts. But I guess if someone took the time to familiarize themselves with all these shortcuts, it could work. There's also in-app shortcuts for specific apps like Gmail and Google Notes. There's a lot to remember here, and it might be worth it if your workflow involves these specific apps. So how does it add to the user experience for the RAZR? With the phone closed, it certainly adds usability as there's more screen space. I'm able to interact with my messaging apps without opening the phone. The added length while closed makes it much easier to handle, as I found trying to use the RAZR itself while closed was a bit cumbersome due to the limited amount of material to handle. With it opened, like I mentioned, it's a very long phone but still manageable. The weight distribution is very even, and I don't feel much finger fatigue from typing on it. If you don't need to type, you can hold it a little bit more to the center and it feels fine. The backlight, however, is not synced to the screen on time, and it acts independently from what the phone is doing. It will time out at your set time, up to 60 seconds if you don't press a key. If you're in a dark room, you will have to hit a key to get it lit. So it's best to find a key that doesn't affect any phone functions at the screen you're on. While the typing experience with the physical keys are good, the software did not include its own virtual keyboard like other physical keyboard phones. The virtual on-screen keyboard setting is still on Gboard, it's just not visible. I understand that the physical keyboard frees up screen space, but 1 or 2 rows of virtual keys would add a lot of functionality, such as a word suggestion strip or just frequently used symbols and numbers. After using it for about a week, I do feel it's made my RAZR more usable. I bought the RAZR after pre-ordering the Clicks a few months ago. It was to replace my Motorola ThinkPhone. However, I did not want to even use the RAZR because the flip phone form factor was actually harder for me to use. I'm used to simply pulling out my phone and unlocking it with my face unlock or the on-screen fingerprint, which is fast and simple. On a flip phone, I actually have to flip open the screen after unlocking it, as I found the smaller external screen was more of a gimmick and it's not very usable, especially if I need to do any typing. With the Clicks attached, I can use the external screen for almost all of my messaging and open it only as needed. However, I'm still not a fan of the flip phone design, but that's not any fault of the Clicks. The Clicks actually improved its functionality. But I do wish there were more customizations available for the keyboard shortcuts with their Clicks app. As it is, it's an improvement, and if those apps that they have keyboard shortcuts for are the ones that you use regularly and you're willing to put in some time to learn them all, I can see it increasing your productivity. I hope they will keep updating the app so we can customize it more for how we use our phones ourselves. I do like this Clicks add-on, and I might actually switch to using a Pixel phone so that I don't have a flip phone, just so I can have a keyboard with a regular bar phone.